Hello?
Okay, I add you on. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Mr. Hardge. Thank you. I think a lot of the
Yeah.
criticisms are coming because people believe you haven't been able to effectively articulate what it is that your battery technology actually does. So I was just wondering with some type of technical specificity, if you could explain to people with, again, technical specificity, what exactly your battery technology is and how does it work from like an engineering and mechanical perspective. I don't want trade secrets. I don't want patent secrets, but I want to
Okay.
understand that you have a rudimentary understanding of how the batteries actually work.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's not a battery, sir. Uh, the technology can be used with any type of battery. Okay. What I created, sir, is a regen system, and we changed the name. Black box was the name that we used in the beginning because some of the guys said, "Oh, it's a black box, and that's what we're plugging everything in." So let's call it black box. But some people getting the black box confused with the box that's utilized in aircrafts when they need to locate an aircraft if it was to crash. Uh, so it's considered as an aftermarket. Basically, what it is, it's an energy management system that takes the energy that's coming from the battery that's used to power the car. Okay. When that energy comes in, it sends it back and it stores it. So it's kind of like a screen. As the battery start depleting, it's replenishing it with the energy that it taken to turn those all electric alternators. Okay. And in order to do that, there are certain things you have to do with the software, which you can't make it up, you can't alter it. And when you plug it up, not only does it keeps the car from overheating, because it's kind of like a regulator too, like a voltage regulator and a transformer to keep the car from overheat. That's why it solves the heating problem. So basically, with this system, if you don't go in the software to make it work conjunction together, and then you plug all that up. We have our additional cabling that we connect to the system, the same standard cables that all the electric cars are using, and we applied that system. So basically, um, the same stuff can be used on a truck, an 18 wheeler. It doesn't matter about the load. It's about regenerating the energy. And as I mentioned, you can't store that energy in a battery. As you know, when you keep using a battery, it's hot. The more you use it, then you start killing cells. But if you don't have heavy loads on the batteries because you keep regenerating, so if the car is sitting in traffic with the air conditioner on and cold temperature or hot temperatures, it does not affect the temperature of the batteries. Matter of fact, it will save the companies money because you don't need all those batteries now. Okay, you can cut the batteries in half because it's a regen system. So I didn't really do something so extraordinary. It's just something that was simple that everybody was overlooking, and I had an opportunity to take advantage of it. And then everybody that's seen what I have done, they think it's remarkable, and they like, wow, we don't spend millions of dollars. Why didn't
Yeah,
we think of
that
this?
seems to be the question that
That's
I keep
all.
stumbling upon, which is why didn't they think of that? And I'm just wondering, like when you talk about the software, what type of programming language is the software in that you've been able to modify it to make it more efficient?
Okay, let me say this to you also. See, nobody never sit down and ask the question that you're asking. Okay, first and foremost, before we can go in this car, let's say like you got a GM or a Hyundai, right? You have to get permission from that company to be able to unlock their software. You follow me? You can't do it without them giving you permission. We tried to do a Tesla, but Tesla would not give the permission to go in their software. You have to be able to go in their software to unlock it so we can program it
What
to our
language are you
technology.
programming in?
So,
What
excuse
software
me?
language are you programming in?
Now, that's where the engineers come in, so I'm not going to misrepresent. We have a software engineer. These are former NASA engineers, MIT graduates. They go in and program that, okay? And if you ask me, I'm going to tell you, I'm like a fish out of water with that, okay? But I have no problem with you speaking with them. They can speak your language, but That's where all that come in, and that's why we had all those engineers in DC because they were unlocking each Chevy boat. We got permission to go in there and unlock the software, and it's not really doing anything remarkable. It just allows whatever the car does, like it's already doing. To my understanding and knowledge, it shows the real time mileage. If it goes to 486 miles to the charge, it's in there. You can't make it up. It is what it is. It shows the same system, how much energy is being depleted, the last use of charge, what we had. And that's what they designed. As a matter of fact, to my understanding, they're filing additional patents on that as well. But go ahead and ask questions. I mean, I answer the best
No,
that I
I
can.
appreciate it. I'm just
Okay.
Yeah.
trying to allay the concern that I
Yeah.
have that
So
I think a lot of the criticism is coming from the fact that you can't articulate the specifics about how it works. And when you make such bold claims about what this technology is able to do, especially when compared to, billion-dollar legacy automakers, people with essentially unlimited resources, and you fail to articulate exactly how it works and you use vague terms like the energy going through the wires, that's where people's
Okay,
that's where
okay.
people's
Well,
doubt
let me
is
just kind
coming
of,
from.
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
So
And I can
Raven.
respect that, but let me just kind of
Hold
give
us.
you an idea,
Yeah.
okay?
So let me. Yeah. So Raven. So one thing I was asking to Lawrence over, I don't know, a couple months now, is the actual pattern. So that way I could see, the how the technology works. So that's what I've been asking. So exactly the same questions that you've been asking, Raven. Very valid. Is a software solution, but obviously that is secret sauce that every company is not going to release their, lines of
Right,
codes
Yeah, but
because
I
someone's
mean,
right.
I
asking.
mean,
Otherwise, they
I'm
wouldn't
not
need
asking.
me.
I'm not asking for
Yeah.
trade secrets. I'm just saying, like, specific to the firmware in companies' cars that he's talking about, right? He's talking about the built-in
Okay,
software,
well,
and he
let
can't
me
even
say this to you.
articulate what programming language that's in. He's telling me to refer to the engineers.
That's not my scope of jurisdiction, sir. I created the technology. I'm not a software
But
engineer. I didn't
how do you
graduate
create the
with a
technology without having an understanding of how it works?
Okay, let me explain something to you, okay? You have a valid question. I'm going to simplify it for
No,
you.
I don't
And the
want you to
software
simplify it for me.
engineers,
I want you to give me the most complex, articulate answer that you can.
well, I can't give you that because I'm not a software engineer and I
So,
can't
so,
explain, but
so
they can,
Lawrence, so
huh?
how did you come up with the idea, and how do you productize it with the engineering resource?
Well, basically, what I did was, let me explain something to you. I used the technology on a golf cart. That's what Ford had me to do because there's no computer software. Okay, so that's why I'm saying when you ask questions, you'll find out the truth. Ford asked me to do a golf cart. It has no kinetic energy, no regen process. It was strictly direct current. Okay, so I used the system that I had on the golf cart, and they got 26.6 hours nonstop. So my engineers came in and said, you know what? We can take this technology and we can put it on cars. Okay. All right. I know nothing about software with the cars. I'm just being transparent with you. Okay. So uh, it was that they say, look, right now GM is having problems with the Chevy Bolt. Okay. So they said, Lawrence, why don't we go buy a Chevy Bolt, see if this technology would work on the Chevy Bolt? Okay. I bought a Chevy Bolt. He said we want to buy it because we don't want them to keep it because they could always say they was already working on it, or they could turn around and say they own the rights to the technology. So we went and bought a Chevy Bolt. Ford was very impressed with the car because it done everything that it said it could do. And then Ford was supposed to give us two Ford Mustangs when the engineer said that they could wanted to put it on a car, and they was going. It was a deal that they was supposedly pay us $250,000 per car. Okay, and the COVID started hitting, and they kept saying they was changing managements and all that. They never got the car, so we went out and bought our own Chevy Bolt. Okay, the engineers said we're going to bring in some software engineers. We're gonna get it. We're gonna write it up. We're gonna write up our own software, whatever they drew up or whatever, and we're gonna attach this system where it can be programmed through the car. Okay, they done that. We sent it to the labs and they tested it. Okay, so I don't look like an idiot on the phone. I'm happy to have my software engineers. They can tell you whatever code
No,
or
I
whatever.
appreciate you.
Okay, but it is in the
I
technology.
appreciate you
Yeah,
trying to clear it up to the best of your ability. I do
yeah.
appreciate that. I'm just I'm
Yeah, because when they sent me graphs and charts of what they was doing, I had to ask them, what is
well,
all
you
this? They
can't.
had to explain it to
It's
me.
just the problem is that your claims stand at such odds with what you seem to actually know. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just saying, you're saying, hey, look, I've got a technology. I hooked it up to a golf cart, and a couple of engineers told me this could work on everything from golf carts to 18 wheelers to any kind of battery. Which, of course, you can't believe that all of these batteries work exactly the same. You can't believe that because something works on an electric golf cart that you're going to be able to take it out and put it into an 18 wheeler. Like, it's just, I'm not an engineer, and I know that that's a very
Right.
bold claim.
Absolutely.
So then my question is,
You're correct, sir.
when you're making
Yeah.
such bold claims and people ask you for a rudimentary explanation of how the technology works, and you're using terms like, oh, it sends the energy in and out, and you don't seem to understand like how it's being programmed, or really too much at all about the technology at all. That's why people are skeptical and critical. You don't seem to understand what it is that
I
you're selling.
respect that. Matter of fact, sir, let me say this to you. I would be the first to tell you right now, okay? I created a monster. That's why we brought in some of the top engineers who interpreted all of this to put it in the patent, okay? I created it.
What does that
They
mean?
take
What does
it
it
to a
mean you
whole nother
created it?
level.
What does that mean? What did you do?
I'm the one designing the whole system, with the exception of all the computer technology, the software. I didn't know nothing about that. They need to go in and unlock a computer on a car to make
What
it
does that
work.
process
I
what
made
does
that
that
clear.
process look like
Mullins knew that as well.
when
Now,
you design the system? What does that process look like? What software are you using to do that? How is it happening?
I didn't have any software on nothing that
So
I
how are you
did,
designing it?
and there was no software. They designed it. They created whatever they was doing. They said they had to get permission to unlock the vehicles in order for them to program it. Like, we had a car that came in from China. It was in all
I
Japanese,
guess,
their
Lawrence,
software. They
I,
converted it
I
to
guess, all right,
USA.
let me simplify it for you. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is what exactly did you do in creating this technology? What did you do? Remember Office Space when the guy's like, what would you say you do here? What did you do to create the technology? Can you just walk us through that?
I've already walked you through that. What I created to regen the system, I did it on the golf cart, and
What does
it
that mean?
worked.
I did it on a golf
They
cart.
wanted to take
Does
it
that
to
mean you
another level.
assembled it while sitting on a golf cart, or does it mean you took something and plugged it into a golf cart? I mean, there isn't even a
Sir,
semblance of
sir,
any type
sir,
of engineering speak here at
sir,
all.
sir, sir, sir. That's for element to do. You argue with someone that went to a test, one of the third largest testing company in the world, who tested it. We did what we did. They did their
Tested
baseline,
what?
and they did it afterward.
Tested what?
The vehicle,
Yeah,
the
but
vehicle. They compared the car to what it was doing, and then they did an aftermarket test to show the
but you
comparison.
can't seem to articulate anything about this technology that you have. All you just said to me,
Sir, I
you
don't
said
have to. I don't have,
you said I
sir,
created it,
sir.
but you're not
I don't
telling
have
anybody what
to.
you created.
That's why I have PhDs. That's why I have people have PhDs and all of that. And guess what? I don't mean to be rude, but I've already proved enough to the people that they offered a lot of money. I ain't looking for no investors. I got people that's buying it.
I
And that's
think
why
if
we have
you I think if
engineers
you
that flew to Saudi
I
Arabia.
think if you
They
proved
went to
enough
Saudi
I think
Arabia.
if you proved enough, you would not be sitting on a Twitter Spaces call on Sunday night trying to proclaim your innocence. People
Sir,
aren't going after
sir,
you.
I
They're
don't do
going after the
anything but
fact,
work, sir. All I
Lawrence,
do,
Lawrence,
sir,
people aren't
sir,
going
all I
after
do
you.
is
They're
stay
going after the
home.
fact that you have provided the investing public and the general public with zero technical specificity as anything
I promise
involving
you this.
your technology.
I promise you this, sir. If anybody wants to subpoena me in court and I bring my team, they will be totally
Who
embarrassed.
is this
Okay?
team? Who's leading?
Because we
So
got
Who's
all
leading?
hey,
What's
nationalities.
hey
the name of the
guys,
person leading
hey
the team?
guys,
Who's the,
Hey,
who's?
you got another question,
Yes,
sir?
I,
Sir,
Hey guys.
you have somebody else that want to ask me a question?
Hey Lawrence.
Hello?
I'm really
Yes.
sorry. One last question. I appreciate you taking the time. Who's the name of the person leading your technical and engineering team?
Why is it your business? You gonna pay us $1 billion?
You just said you can ask the person who's working on the
Oh,
team. So I want to know what that person's name is.
I said if you think I've done something wrong, take me to court, and then you'll be
I'm not taking you to
embarrassed.
court. I'm embarrassed to
My
be here on
my
Twitter. I
job
don't
is
even
not
need
true.
court.
So I have a question for you, Raven. So, are you invested in Mullen? Is that how you got
I
it?
have no position in
Lawrence?
Mullen at all. I don't own Mullen
Okay,
stock, and I'm
okay,
not short.
okay.
Yeah,
So,
you got an expert from Maryland that's seen a picture of a box with 2 wires and then go on national TV and say
so
that don't even work. I mean,
yeah,
where did you get
I'm
that
just
picture to
asking.
do that?
You're talking about people from MIT and NASA. Can you just give me the name of your engineer that you're talking about? Who's on your team, Lawrence?
No, they don't want to talk. Okay, can we move on, sir?
No, I think that's a really
yeah,
good question. I
Lawrence.
don't think we should move on. I think we should focus
Raven.
very
Yeah,
intensely on that question.
yeah, Raven. Just we got your point. I got your
I don't
point.
think anybody has
That's
my
what I.
point.
No, yeah, I've been
The point
asking
is,
Lawrence
the
over
point is,
past.
I asked a technical question, and he said that he could
Are you
Raven,
there, sir?
no, I'm here. I just muted Raven. I've been asking for Lawrence to provide the technology, how it works, over past 3-4 months. So he hasn't provided that. So what I'm doing now is asking for patents. So that way I will see what the patent is about,
not
and
not
Yeah.
even
how actual technology
patents. How
works.
about anything? Just give us anything.
Uh,
Give us any technical speak at all about how this thing works. Anything. Just give us anything.
So why are if you're not invested in Mullen have no
Because I'm
interest?
consistently watching people ride this guy's nonsense
Okay.
and piss away their life savings in this stock when this guy cannot
I
articulate.
have nothing to do with that. They invested in Mullins, not me,
It
sir.
doesn't matter.
Mullins didn't give me
You
any
are
stock.
making
Well,
grandiose
Okay.
claims, okay, about
hey
billion-dollar
Raven,
Okay.
deals, and
I can't speak on Mullins. I'm under cease and desist, sir. Let's not talk about
Raven,
Mullins.
the most folks here, including myself, the reason I got into Mullen is not because of LH, it's because of David last year. So sorry for the folks that jump in the last couple of months, because hearing about some of the energy management, that Mullen created as a LLC, right? That's where I think there's some of the responsibility falls back
hey,
on their Mullen,
Lawrence
because
cashed
if they
he
have
cashed
not
a
do
big
their due
check.
diligence, if they have done do their
I did not
diligence,
get
right, we
paid
wouldn't be
$5
here.
million.
So